Hello there, everyone. Dr. Tharp here. And as I usually say, I am here on a mission to help those who are determined to reverse their type 2 diabetes achieve that goal. And yes, it is very achievable. That's actually one of the biggest questions I get. Is type 2 diabetes reversible? And is it ever too late? And so tonight we are going to talk about one of my clients who's had a remarkable um, transformation, just one of the many transformations that I have had the honor of witnessing. And so wanted to share with you that it is possible and to show you how the blood sugars can really change if you have the right strategy. I just so you know who I am, if this is your first time seeing me, I am Dr. Tharp. I'm a board certified internal medicine physician. I am the founder of the Reverse Her movement and the Reverse Now movement. And it's an initiative to help our community rise up from the grips of the diabetic epidemic, from the complications that disproportionately affect people of color. And so I have taken on and established that initiative to help people regain the power over their bodies, regain power that they lost, they felt they lost, regain a sense of control, autonomy. A lot of people find that they start one medication, then they're on another medication. And that leads to this feeling that there is no control. And so that's one of the things that I help you do is regain control by reversing your type 2 diabetes naturally. So yes, it is possible. Now, is it ever too late to reverse type 2 diabetes? It's never too late, but the longer you wait, the harder it gets, the longer it takes. And very likely, if you wait too long, then you are experiencing complications or you begin to experience complications. And I am the founder of the Reverse Her Challenge. I help people reverse their type 2 diabetes preventatively, but I'm also a hospital doctor. I'm a hospitalist as well. And so I not only help people empower themselves against type 2 diabetes, but I'm also on the front line of helping people get through the horrendous complications that they can face. And I would prefer never to meet you in the hospital. I would prefer never to take care of people in the hospital. And one of the reasons I have taken on this mission to help people reverse this disease naturally and preventatively is because I see firsthand what it can do and how preventative it is. So is it preventable at all stage? Is it reversible at all stages? Absolutely. But the more proactive you are, the more quality of life you have. The type of complications that I see routinely in the hospital setting is, kidney failure, very common. About one in two type 2 diabetics who are on dialysis because of diabetes. Diabetes is the number one driver of dialysis in this country. And I can tell you, I walk into a dialysis room in the hospital, and most of the people on the machine are people of color. So it's definitely not something I like to see. And that is because people of color, we don't have the resources, right? We're not given the resources, we're not given the education, we're not given the time. And so we tend to think, oh, it's all medication, right? We're not given the time and the education to really regain control of ourselves, right? We're pretty much just given prescription medications and told, take the medications and this will take care of you, and you still end up on dialysis. So it's really important to be aware that you can reverse it. Now, one of the transformations that I wanted to talk about is someone who I started working with in May. When she came to me, she came to me pretty frustrated because she had actually made all the right changes. She she was eating, complex carbohydrates. She had made a few changes, but not all the right changes. So she had become a vegetarian because she had read on the internet somewhere that that was something that could reverse insulin resistance. So she used that information. She became a vegetarian, and she switched her white rice out for quinoa. She switched out for lentils and beans, and still her blood sugars were through the roof. When she started, her blood sugars were steadily in the 150s, 170s, sometimes even crossing over into the 200s. And other things that she told me she had tried the supplements, those didn't work. And she even told me that she had gone on a retreat in another country in order to do this, another retreat where they were offering some kind of a diet that could have reversed her type 2 diabetes, or promised to do that, and it didn't work. So she was searching far and beyond to get that remedy. One of the big reasons she decided to start with the program is, well, I explained to her, I showed her, and I explained to her exactly how it works. And the reality of all the things that she tried, she had never tried the approach that I was presenting to her. And so she decided to give it a shot, and the outcome was awesome. So when she came to me, her blood sugars were, running in the 150s to 170s. We have an app that we follow blood sugars closely. It's a way that I can, keep track of where everybody is. I can chime in, and if I see blood sugars running really high, then I can, we can jump on things really quickly. So I have an app that, that my clients do all their tracking, and I can see what's happening in real time. And when I see it, I can address it. And so I just wanted to give a quick snapshot of how her blood sugars responded. So initially, she started with me in May, and we started, our stepwise strategy. And her blood sugars immediately responded from the 150s to the 130s. So she saw an instant 20-point drop in her average blood sugars once she implemented the changes. Now, over time, of course, as I said, we work in a very stepwise manner, because we don't want to throw everything at you, right? We want to make sure that all the changes that we're making fits your life, and it fits, what you can do. And so it's a gradual process. So we got those blood sugars down over about a month. And in a month, her blood sugars came down by 20 points. And then we took additional steps after that, and the steps are mostly dietary. As I always say, um, the key is your diet. You have to have the right strategy. You have to know the right combinations. You have to know what's right for your body. You have to understand how your day-to-day habits, how much you're eating, how often you're eating. You have to understand how all of that is affecting your blood sugar, because it is. Intermittent fasting through half of the day is not going to achieve blood sugar control. And actually, that is something she was doing as well. When she started, she was intermittent fasting as well. So, as you can see, over a month time, her blood sugar responded. And then we made even further changes. and her blood sugar dropped dramatically. And as you can see the trend, June 27th, she's at 130s, then she hangs out there for 2 days, and then she makes another 10-point drop, 13-point drop. And then from there, she makes another 8-point drop. And then from there, she makes another 20-point drop. Not 20, 30-point drop. This is how the formula works. If you have watched my prior videos on the right strategy, I've done videos where I tell you how to structure your plate, what to be eating. Of course, eating is a big part of it, but it is an entire system. I offer a system. I tell you how to do that system. And as you can see here, the system works. Today her blood sugars, she's finishing up the program. She finished it last week, and her blood sugars are holding steady in the 80s to 90s, and she is a happy camper. And guess what? She realized that she was searching so hard. The answer was right there all along, right? All she had to do was find that right combination and the right strategy. So strategy is everything. It's really important to understand that going on the internet and searching for remedies or quick fixes aren't necessarily going to address the issue. It's really important to understand that it's all about the diet. You could be eating healthy like she was, the food that she was eating was healthy. But again, you have to understand how the body processes carbohydrates, and you have to understand how much to eat. So those are the important things to know in order to achieve blood sugar control. And something I always stress is that this is for the long run, right? You want to be off of medications for good. When she started the program, she had actually lost her health insurance and could no longer afford to be on the medication she had been taking before. And so she decided she had to take the proactive natural approach in order to get her blood sugars controlled, because she could no longer afford the medications. So, it is important to go for the right strategy first. Don't waste your time with supplements. Don't waste your time with just intermittent fasting. Don't waste your time becoming a vegetarian. If you're not a vegetarian, then don't become a vegetarian just to beat diabetes, because that's not going to work. Okay. It is a system based approach, and you have to understand to go to the right source first, the evidence based, the science backed source, which is what I do. Um, so, it's really important to have that right strategy, because you don't waste time waiting around, procrastinating, trying things that frustrate you and ultimately just lead to worse blood sugars and down the line complications. Now, the complications of type 2 diabetes is ultimately what you need to avoid. The complications are horrendous. They affect every single organ in the body. So you have to act early and go for that right strategy in order to do it. And as you can see, this happened fast. Okay. This is not something that takes months and months. Does it take making change? Yes, it takes making changes. Changes to the way you eat, changes to your mindset. 100% it does take change. But is it worth it? It is worth it. And it does happen quickly if you are committed to making the right changes and you're determined to make the right changes. So, with that, I know it's late. I know it's back to school season. So, everyone is busy getting the kids settled in. But I wanted to come on and just share one of these, just one of the many transformations that I've had, and to share that you can have the same transformation if you go for the right source, the right strategy, then it can work for you. With that, I'm going to close off for the night. But if there are any questions, if there are any comments, just remember there's always somebody else who is struggling with the same thing that you're struggling with. And so they would greatly benefit from your comments. I will get back to your comments as soon as possible. If you have any suggestions for topics to cover, I would be more than happy to do that because, again, if you want to know about that particular topic, there are so many other people just like you who have that same question. With that, I'm going to close off unless you have questions. If you want to um, book a one on one, a free discovery call, a one on one discovery call, then just click the link in my bio and book that call, and you'll get a free 15-minute discovery call to make sure we're the right fit. Just keep in mind that this call is really for us to understand your unique problem, your unique issue, and your unique question. This is not to convince you that it's time to make change. That's really up to you. You have to be ready to make changes. You have to be serious about making changes. So, really, this call is for serious inquiries only. Okay. It's for serious inquiries only for those who are ready for a transformation just like the one I shared here. With that, I am going to close off. Just click the link in the bio, and you can also grab a copy of the free meal plan. If you're not, ready to make that call, then grab the free meal plan and see if it makes a difference for you as well. All right. With that, have a good night, and I